What?
No. Don't.
Oh my God.
Is that?
I don't know.
It looks like...
I know what it looks like.
Did we know she died by suicide?
No. Grandmother did not mention,
You say that like grandmother ever spoke to us much about anything.
We cannot post this.
No.
And I think we need to tell Aloysius, see if he can take it down. Do we screenshot it?
No. What are you talking about?
It could be a glitch. It could disappear.
I don't know if losing a photograph like this is like a bad thing.
Then what do we do?
Well, we hope we never have to see it again.
Welcome to Back of Bourke.
This is a podcast dedicated to unravelling the mysterious 1960s Australian television program Back of Bourke. The show has no remaining or known footage of any of the unknown number of episodes, and confusing, contradictory information regarding the writers, directors, and overall narrative.
The top of the episode was the ending of the conversation we had last week. It took us a while to decide what and how to approach this on the podcast.
Yeah, when we searched the letters D, Z, L on the memory hole page of the Back of Bourke geo-cities, a black and white crime photograph appeared. It was of a white woman with light hair, a round face, and tinted glasses. And she looked like Alice. And she was hanging from a rope with a chair kicked from beneath her.
We did not know our great-aunt Dot died from suicide, or what she has to do with the Back of Bourke codes. We have not spoken to our horrible grandmother, Dot's sister, in many years, but we have planned a trip to see her.
Yeah. Which we're hoping to update you about next week. It's difficult to move on from seeing that. Alice was right. It was a glitch that it's disappeared now when searching the term DZL, and Aloysius is keeping an eye out and will remove the photograph if he has the chance.
We debated continuing the podcast, and perhaps it makes us ghoulish, but now we want to know about Back of Bourke more than ever, although the stakes feel like they are exponentially growing.
And trapping us in with it.
We have a small update regarding one of the Back of Bourke conspiracy theories. In episode 2 of the podcast, we mentioned that a Reddit user had posted the details of the ritual needed to get to the Back of Bourke. This user also hinted that they knew who originated the ritual in a 1950s academic journal. We reached out to and heard back from this user.
Should I just start from the beginning?
Yes, I'm just recording now.
Okay, cool. I heard about this thing that was like internet creepypasta, and I was like, I know that story, so I posted about it. I'm doing my master's in sociology and have a professor for one of my subjects that told us when he was a student he was taught by the academic that originally wrote about the Back of Bourke ritual.
Oh. Did he say when that was?
I read his thesis, which he wrote in around 1961, so I'm guessing it was about 4 or 5 years before that. The academic was a philosophy teacher, not a sociologist.
Oh. So have you got a copy of the article your professor's professor wrote?
No, nobody has been able to find it. It is not a big conspiracy or anything. The article she wrote became a legendary scandal at the University of Adelaide.
And can you explain why?
I posted everything my professor told us on Reddit.
Yeah, I know, but it would be great, if you could repeat it for the podcast.
I keep forgetting. Sure. This academic...
Do you remember her name?
Nah, it was weird. My professor would not mention it. I think it's like faculty are not really supposed to mention her.
Okay. Please continue.
The academic published an article in a peer-reviewed journal that posited the existence of a following figure. Apparently, to my professor, she hypothesized that following figures select a human, and it takes a step whenever you take a step. It jumps whenever you jump, it rolls when you roll. However, a following figure always does these things in your direction. If you run on the spot for 4 steps, it comes 4 steps closer to you. Once a following figure catches you, which happens exceptionally rarely, it takes you back to its parallel dimension. The academic suggested that there was a way to summon a following figure, if you believe one is attached to you. The academic posited the best or perhaps only place a following figure can be summoned is in Bourke.
And the University of Adelaide didn't like these findings?
The uni and the journal publicly apologised for the article being published, stating that they did not know how the science fiction story made it to print. The academic was labelled unfit to teach and never returned to the university.
What? So, do you think you would mind asking your professor again if he remembers or would be willing to tell you the name of the academic?
I think his name was something like Lee.
Okay, but yeah, please ask.
I can try. Will it get me back on the podcast?
Probably.
That is wonderful. Have a luminous day.
Okay. Yeah, you too. She did not reply to our follow-up emails and calls.
It took us a little while, a few days, to be courageous enough to go on the Back of Bourke production website. But we did, eventually, and for good or bad, the website continues to provide...
Never mind.
What?
Well, do you feel like the more we look into this, the more the website is being forthcoming?
You think Aloysius is doing this on purpose, like playing with us?
No. This is going to sound crazy.
That Back of Bourke is.
Yes! It just, don't you think, the more information we find, the more we know, the more things are inexplicably coming to light?
Perhaps. I honestly don't know. Michelle, where were we?
On the website.
Shouldn't we talk about this?
I think it best if we just move on. We can circle back if needed.
You didn't see what we did.
I showed her a screenshot.
I thought we agreed we wouldn't.
You might have. We need this. If we are going to do this, we need the evidence.
Is it necessary?
Are you okay? We don't need to do this right now.
Sure, look, I'm fine. Just continue.
No, let's take a break.
I'm not apologising.
We did eventually go back to the production website. There were 3 new posts.
Posts that as of 2 minutes ago are still up.
The first is a single line of text that reads, Episode 6, Mysterious Milk Bar. Underneath is a retro-futuristic Vision of the Future advertisement for deli products from Bourke Central Milk Bar. The ad includes sweet iced coffee milk, which apparently contains no sugar, dairy or caffeine, and is recommended not to be refrigerated, fairy bread made from real fairies, only available in the mornings after a full moon, and finally, Lamington noise, same great Lamington sound without the pain of moving your mouth.
The second is labelled 1.4, Find and Give Back the Needle, and there is some text written in first person. The text reads, I have been watching someone here these first few days. I have been able to keep track of them due to the fleck of red I can see on the lapel pocket of their coat. You cannot rely on faces in Back of Bourke. You cannot see them, or more accurately, your brain refuses to register their imprint on your cornea. The man, in brackets assumed, will pick something up off the ground and frantically search Back of Bourke until he has returned it to another person. Much like me, they do not acknowledge him. But he seems to have satisfied his obsession until finding the next item he must return. I can see when he trudges that the soles of his shoes have worn down to the point of holes. Scrapes and cuts are visible on the tips of his fingers, perhaps from constantly touching the sharp country roads. The first time I saw him, it was a cap of a shoelace he returned, and then a pen cap. Next, an eyelash, and today, a $1 coin. It took him 4 hours to find the owner of the money, during which he wet his pants, refusing to go to the bathroom before delivering the coin. Even though I am intrigued by all the other solid human-appearing entities in Bourke, I have no desire to approach them or talk to them. Much like seeing their face, my interest in meeting them is fuzzy and dull. My brain waves are being interrupted.
I think this one is fake.
But the Delhi one isn't? Come on.
Yeah.
You were just saying that we should trust Aloysius.
It does not mean that someone else could not have hacked or whatever the site. This is creepy, but obviously some type of story, not a synopsis or a script fragment or even story outline.
I definitely understand what you were saying. But
You think this is real?
I don't know. Maybe. There's something about it that seems, and I hate that I'm saying this, familiar.
Alice, can you explain what you mean?
Maybe. Look, I may be making connections where there are none, which is not usually something I do.
Or are good at?
All right. But there are points in this that we have discussed previously. Walking until feet wear through to the soles of shoes. Sounds like the Balladeer cobbler. Fuzzy details is everything related to Back of Bourke, the show and the place. Obsession, another Bourke specialty, from some of the emails we have already received and literally us now. And the mention of solid human entities seems to me like another nod towards the distinguishing of silhouetted figures.
Good point. And we were just about to talk about the figures. The final and latest post on the production site is a chunk of text that seems perhaps related to the Back of Bourke in-between channel mentioned in episode 2 of the podcast and the strange figures mentioned everywhere. The note reads, "The figures are using, attracted to, and reliant on the frequencies. The recorded pulses in this remote part of Australia are not, as previously hypothesized, remnants of a sound from deep space. They are coming from this pocket. It is why the echoes of reality are seeping through, why Back of Bourke is a copy, a projection."
Removing ourselves from the supernatural elements of the television program as much as possible, we have been doing some research into some of the key words mentioned in this interesting snippet. In 1933, an issue of the Wireless Institute of Australia's Complete Australian Amateur Radio magazine published an article by Alan Shawsmith entitled Long-Delayed Cosmic Echoes or Galactic DX. In the article, he states that the USSR reported the reception of strange and unusual RF pulses, likely from outer space. There is a theory, not just shared by the author of this article, that these bursts are echoes from a deep space probe. But what is fascinating is that the snippet from this website purposefully rebuffs the proposition that the frequency echoes are cosmic, instead proposing they are Earth-based or at least coming from closer to home. Additionally, it is the first time we have heard mention of a figure in a scientific context rather than conspiratorial.
Okay, yep, ready.
Guys, your source at an unnamed television network has emailed the BOB inbox again.
Yes.
They were hoping to get your opinions on a possible script page.
No way.
Wow. Do you want to read it out, Michael?
It's okay. Can I see it? Okay, it's a small set description and the beginning of a monologue for a character named the narrator. This is what it says. Narrator is standing by his car, nose of the vehicle crumpled by the leg of a mocking sign. He is seemingly nonplussed. He takes his hat off, dusts some of the red dirt off the brim, twists it back on his handsome head and lets out a tired sigh. This is the narrator's dialogue. You ever find yourself in an unfamiliar location? A fantastic place that is both physical and a state of mind? I have. Welcome to Bourke. Yes, that might be a welcome sign to this tiny little outback town, but by some strange twist of fate, I've been driving down this long ribbon of a dirt track, trying to leave, and every time I get out, the sign reappears, and I'm back in again. Welcome to Bourke. Welcome to Bourke indeed. You're familiar, perhaps, with the tale of Sisyphus, the man condemned by the gods to an eternity of futile labour? Consider then our present circumstance, a modern manifestation of that ancient curse, played out not on a Grecian hillside, but in the scorching heart of our nation. Well then, while I get this tire seen to, why don't I tell you a story that'll both confuse and enlighten you, a story that contains events and characters, just like my current predicament here, or that of old Sisyphus, stubbornly refused to progress. Joe Daltrey is a regular fellow who just happens to have stepped foot into his own Greek myth.
Michael.
What? I thought that was pretty good.
No, at the top of the page.
Welcome to Bourke. We knew that episode title. Wait! That's her maiden name. If you have any information about Back of Bourke, please get in touch with us. The link to the podcast website is in the show notes, and you can email us at bob@3pwidget.com.
I note that these episodes were recorded and researched on the stolen and unceded lands of the Ghana people. The names of some of the locations discussed are colonial, and we understand and apologise for the atrocities that were committed during all the times from which we quote.